Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and one of the hardest things to do is investing your money into stocks and actually finding the right stock to put your money into. But another thing that's also very, very hard is basically figuring out exactly when to sell a stock. When is the right time? Because as you guys know, there is this unwritten rule when it comes to investing into stocks. The minute you sell the stock, the price goes up. The minute you buy the stock, the price goes down. It always happens at a certain point. I don't know why, but overall, that's why it's so important when you approach investing, you don't use the price to tell you what to do. You use it as a tool, okay, to actually help you. The market is too emotional. It's all based on a voting machine. So overall, you use it for your advantage. You don't let it tell you what to do. And in this video right here, I'm going to tell you about 3 reasons when it's okay to go ahead and sell your stock. Yeah, you can sell a stock. You don't have to hold on to a stock forever. Like, that's probably not even the most efficient thing to do unless you're dealing with large sums of money. Now, overall, guys, let's get right into this video. And as always, smash the like button. I appreciate it a ton. On top of it, guys, we have a goal to hit 500K subscribers by the end of the year. So do me a favor and smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell because I have more videos coming out on more investment tips and also potentially some investments videos into what to actually invest into and what I'm actually looking at. So you don't want to miss out on that. So make sure you subscribe. Also click the notification bell. Now, the very first reason why you might want to go ahead and sell a stock is a very simple one. The stock has become speculative. What do I mean by that? Okay, it means, for example, if I'm going to buy a stock and I find this stock, for example, selling for around $5, and I analyze the stock and I figure out, yo, the price of this stock, what this stock is really worth is somewhere around $10, but it's selling for $5. The market hasn't realized this, right? So when I start dumping my money into the stock to buy it at $5 per share, because I know the actual value is $10 per share according to my calculation of the financial statements, like the balance sheet, the cash flow statement, the income statement. Well, what happens next is this. At a certain point, something is going to happen. The market eventually might start to catch up with your valuation if you're correct. Now, what happens when the price now approaches your valuation of $10? Well, you have to consider here, if the company is basically the exact same company, nothing has changed, and it's basically now just approaching its value, well, if you don't sell then, you're going to get into speculative territory, meaning, hey, this stock just reached what it's worth. If I keep holding on to it, the market might realize that it might just go down, and there's a very low chance it might go up, but you got to consider what to actually do there. For example, to make this even more simple, okay? Let's say, for example, you're very heavily into Pokemon cards, and you figure out that this Pokemon card is worth around $100. And you're able to buy it for $50. Massive discount, right? Automatically, you have a built-in profit. Now, all of a sudden, the new Pokemon comes out. New Pokemon game, whatever it is, new show, always a new show. This guy is still 12 years old since like 1985. And the answer is, all of a sudden, the price of this Pokemon card is now sitting at $1,000. Now, you got to ask yourself, okay, is this the new value of the card? Or is it just because everybody's hyped up on it and then the price is going to go back down? That's what I mean. So obviously, when it comes to a stock, it's not a Pokemon card. So you got to look at, for example, hey, has the earnings of this company changed? Like, is it making more money now? Is management running the company more efficiently? Are they increasing dividends? Is there a reason for the extra money? Okay, that's the idea, that people are asking me to pay for it. That's what you want to figure out. So when it comes to, there's a reason to sell a stock. If it becomes speculative, then you have to consider selling it, but only after, obviously, doing your research, because the worst thing is figuring out the company was going to do great. Because remember, there is no ceiling on how high a stock can go, okay? Now, the second reason you might want to sell your stock is basically you found a better stock. Now, this might sound like a weird idea, but yeah, for example, you know, Warren Buffett has a good problem, I call it. This guy has billions and billions of dollars and not enough good ideas to dump all that money into to get a good return. Meaning, hey, I have so much cash, not enough ideas. What am I going to put my money into? Okay. But overall, a lot of us investors are just basically starting out with small amounts of capital. Well, initially, just like Warren Buffett when he first started out, he had to decide, for example, if he had one company with good earnings, a 15% return on his capital, good management and so on, and everything was great, and he bought it at a good discount, but then he found another company with even better earnings, a better return, better projections for the future, everything looks better, then he has to consider, hey, I have to run this entire thing like a machine, so I might just have to switch from this company over to this company because basically this company is going to give me a much higher return overall. So it's okay to switch from one company to another company if you find, for example, a better one. It's just that simple. So overall, the way I picture myself, for example, running this entire game when it comes to investing, is kind of like I'm a fund manager. And my goal is to run this thing like a machine. So whatever the amount of money I set aside for investing is, well, there's that money. And I want to make sure I get the highest return on this money. But the thing is, when you're dealing with small sums of money, you usually have so many opportunities, right? That's the idea. But you have to select the best ones when they actually come to you because basically you want to make the highest return. And your entire goal should kind of be, hey, I want to beat the S&P 500 return because if I can't beat that, then what's the point of me trying to invest myself, right? But it takes time, step by step, you get better. But overall, that's the overall goal. Run like a machine, and when you're running a machine, kind of like, for example, if you're running a basketball team, right? And I know very little about basketball, but this makes a lot of sense. I know about the drafts, right? And you have one player, and this player is, wow, so good. But then you have another player, and this guy plays the same position, but he has Michael Jordan abilities. Well, I'm sorry, you gotta go, right? Or take the bench. That's the idea. It's that simple, okay? Now, the last reason why you might want to sell a stock is basically the story has changed. Nothing on this planet stays the same forever, okay? Let's say you bought Apple. And the new CEO says, hey, we're not making iPhones anymore because we don't believe in cell phones, okay? That's like, okay, that's a red flag right there. Or, for example, Elon Musk gets replaced by this other guy. And they're like, you know what? We want to go into combustion engines because we don't believe in electricity anymore. Like, oh my God, what's going on here, right? So the story might change when it comes to a stock. It's not to say, for example, a company will not run into trouble at a certain point, but there is a difference between, hey, the company is having a hard time, and hey, the company is just completely trashed. It is not going to come back. It is not going to rebound. And as an analyst, you're going to be picking stocks. You got to make sure you understand the difference. So overall, you have to remove your emotions from the game. You know, I had this stock that I put my money into a very long time ago when I first started. I'll tell you about it. It was GoPro. And I was a very green investor back then, okay? I'm still green, right? Because I'm still like learning so much and there's so much to learn in this universe. But overall, the idea is when I bought this stock, I was like, wow, you know, it's good. But the price went down and the company got worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, I believe in GoPro. It's going to go back up. No, like it was losing its competitive advantage. The company, I shouldn't say that word. The company was losing its competitive advantage. The earnings were going down. Things were not looking that good. And the whole business was not being run that efficiently. So obviously, the story changed. So when that happens, you got to sell. It's better to lose, for example, 10, 15% of your money than to lose all your money. Because a stock, it can always go to zero, by the way. That means you lose everything. Everything. So it's very important. You always, for example, run it like a business. Run your investments like a business. Never buy more stocks than you can afford to basically manage overall. What I mean by that is, can you keep up to date with all the investments you basically made? If the answer is no, then you might have a lot of instability because something might happen and you might not find out about it, okay? So it's very important you keep an eye out on your investments. But overall, guys, if you notice here, I did not mention, for example, hey, the stock price went down. The market is down. We had a recession. Those things don't matter, right? Because over the past 70 years, we've had over 40 recessions. So it's a natural thing. As long as you put your money into good companies that you believe in and are basically showing very healthy financial statements and you're buying it at a good price, you're going to be just fine. The more I learn about investing, the more I realize that Warren Buffett is fine. When it comes to this game of investing, the mind is not what makes you a great investor, it's your stomach. Because you have to be able to sustain a lot of crazy things going on in the market, but knowing, for example, that you made the right decisions, okay? Guys, that is it. Thanks for watching. Comment down below. I made it, so I know you made it all the way to the end of the video. On top of that, also, if you're new here, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. On top of that, also destroy the like button. Don't forget about that. Over here is my face. Click subscribe. Another video here or backwards. But overall, if you do have a question on investing, comment down below. I'm here to answer them. Also, DM me on Instagram, TommyBryson, with any questions. And as always, long-term team officially out.